Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good, whatever time it is. Oh my goodness, what's been going on, y'all? I've been absolutely trounced. I've been absolutely trounced with work, which is a great thing, right? Nothing wrong with being busy, just busy, that's all. Busy is busy. So here, let me just go ahead and save a couple files real quick here from something else. Close that, close this, and bring this up. We'll swap over. We'll just get rolling here. We'll double it up real quick. All right. It's pretty dark in here, so that's just kind of the way it's going to be, I think. Might be able to move this camera. Maybe I'm being a bit of a curmudgeon having that camera there. What if I move it sort of out of the way? There we go. This might work. Drunk camera operator, fantastic. There we go. That's kind of about as good as it's going to get at the moment. If I move that leg like that, there we go. Oh, it's 100% better. So right now it's hard to tell, but that's kind of a white box that we're looking into. I made it myself. I don't know if I can zoom out. Barely. Okay, that's good. So if we look up, see that? That's just a big soft light. Massive softbox. Look how big that thing is. That's a 5 by 2, 5 foot by 2 foot. And then we've got a big piece of white diffusion material in the back. It's sort of what they used to call a white silk. It's just awesome. And then I have on top of that, actually I should say on either side of that, we have two white, just standard diffusers that you would use in everyday photography. And then here in just a second, we're gonna get a product on this table. Oh, the table itself is just two little TV trays and a nice clean piece of white, pure white acrylic on top of that. Just gives us a nice white reflective surface. It's very, very, very dark in this room. If I put my hand kind of right here, you can see just how silhouetted it is. Just the way it is in this studio. Little home studio. As far as the TV trays go, you almost never would see a massive, like a true photography studio with TV trays as their preferred method of keeping the product steady. Because the thing is, normally when you go into a like a photo studio that does nothing but product stuff, really high level, what they have are these massive concrete tables quite often. And those concrete tables are there literally to keep the make sure nothing moves at all. You know, when they set something down, they want it to literally just be sitting there as hard as possible, not moving one single iota. All right, so if we just go ahead and switch over to our big main camera, we're getting right into it today, guys. We are just rolling. If we switch over to our main camera, or just our big, go full screen on the camera, what we've got here is something called a DD700. This is from a company called B-Tech. We shoot a lot of their photos. They do these really, really cool, amazing sort of scales and indicators. They do absolutely massive scales. When I say absolutely massive, I mean pretty much about as big as a scale can get. They do everything that's really small. They do tabletop scales, but then they do scales that weigh trains. Think about that. Think about the insanity of weighing a freight train. It goes all the way up to that size. So I find that kind of cool. And like I said, we've been doing all of their products for a couple years now, and we've just we've built a friendship as well as a working relationship. So you know, they're cool peoples for sure. Really good crew over there. They know what they're doing. Really smart marketing team. Yeah, design and just all that in general. And just to kind of give you an idea, well, I shouldn't say because they want to keep it secret, but they did. They because that they their scales can handle really large weights. That means sometimes that they can use really large weights to do cool things. And I don't know if you've ever seen those videos where people take really heavy things and, you know, set them on top of things that aren't so heavy. The mayhem that ensues. We've been working on a couple of those videos. It's pretty cool, but that's not why we're here. We're here to take photos of this. So, and not only that, but we're here to use the EOS R or the EOS R5. So if you've seen my stuff before, you know I love my ESR. It's an amazing, amazing camera. I like to have two cameras, and I've been using an ESR, and I've been using a 5D Mark III. My 5D Mark III is one of the best cameras that I've ever owned. It's been worth every penny plus multitudes more. Orders of magnitudes. It has been very kind to me. But sooner or later, I was starting to feel that, I should just say recently, I was starting to feel the itch that wouldn't it be nice if I had two systems that were exactly the same. And by that I mean two mirrorless systems, because I don't know if you've ever used mirrorless. It's just really nice. It's really nice. For me, the ability to see the photo you're going to take through the eyepiece, through the electronic viewfinder, is it's kind of worth its weight in gold. Like whatever I see in there is the photo I'm going to take. And you know, if I'm even working with flash, like we're going to be doing here in just a moment, it's nice too because you know, I can see that photo in the eyepiece. I don't have to chimp. If you don't know what chimping is the process of sort of like hunching over your camera, looking at the photo right after you've taken it. I'm sure if you've ever been to like a park or someplace where people are taking photographs, like every photo they take a picture and then they look at the back of their camera, and then they take a picture and then they look at the back of their camera. Now you can take a picture and just keep taking pictures because you can see the pictures you're taking through your eyepiece. And I think that is amazing. I think that is magic, in fact. All right. So let's start off by putting a card in the camera here. All right. Another thing that I'm absolutely loving, especially from a product photography standpoint, is the fact that now when I take pictures and I look to the EVF, if I hit the magnification button, like I can actually see a live view magnification in the electronic viewfinder. That is insane for me. Like the ability to zoom in. Like I know, like if you ever look through your EV or even just your regular viewfinder, your optical viewfinder, as opposed to the EV, it's small. The image is small. You know what I mean? You hope you get focused, but I know we've all come home after taking a bunch of photos and you're like, oh man, it's not in focus, or it's not in focus as much as I would like it to have been. So now with the magnifying, you know, being able to magnify in the eyepiece, like it's a no-brainer now. It's so cool. It's so cool. All right, so obviously this is dark. This isn't pretty. There's nothing awesome about this photo that we just took. Just to give you an idea of what we're doing here, I do have this camera currently attached to a 70-200. It is at an f2.8. We're going to be changing that here in just a second. In fact, let's go ahead and get everything sort of where we want it to be. We want to make sure that we are in ISO 100, which we are. We actually want to be at about 1/60th of a second with an f-stop of, well, first of all, we should probably be in manual. Oh, we are. And I want to be at about f11. If we take this picture now, oh, it says we're at ISO 200. Let's go down. There we go. There's 100. Now if we take this picture, it's going to be really dark. It's going to be super dark. But it just so happens I have a bunch of lights sitting in this room here, and we're going to utilize them. We're going to make things go pippity pop. Pin up above. You can't be laying in the other dog's bed. That's not cool. All right, let's see what happens. See, and now we're done. Photography with Ben. And thanks for showing up. I hope you had. Okay, we're not quite done yet, but we're getting close. I mean, honestly, we're not that far away. All right, what I just did is I went and I got my little flashlight. I don't know if you can see this flashlight here. Right, you see it there? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shine this flashlight sort of on my diffusion material, and I'm trying to figure out where I need to put my light, because the product is going to reflect. So according to this, I need to move this light way back here. I don't know how I'm going to get that back there. I don't know how I'm going to do it, governor, but we're going to try. It needs to kind of be here. Whether this will work or not, we don't really quite know yet. Okay. Let's take another picture. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm trying to get a highlight in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, you can see the highlight is there. It is a billion gigawatts too hot. So we are going to drop that down. Let's try 1/32 power here. Drain it, 1, 2, 3, go. Turn around, that's much better. That's a whole lot better. It might be too much though, still, to be honest with you. Let's see, maybe now I can sort of finagle this back. It is really tight over here on this corner of the stuff. Maybe if I go like that, let me try. So I'm just sort of moving the light. So I was using the flashlight to sort of help me point. I can even just turn that. I can turn on the I don't want it so bright that it just blasts the whole edge with pure white. There we go. That's much better. See how we have a nice gradient? It's a little bit darker on the bottom left, and it's a little bit brighter on the top right. That's all we're looking for. You can see all the information. Everything is there. Crazy crystal sharp. Look at that. That is insane. That is just absolutely insane. So the next thing would be, it's like, well, what do you do with this stuff? You know, what's going on here? What are you trying to accomplish with this? Well, we're not that far away from accomplishing what we want. The one thing that we do need to do is we need to turn it around. We like to get both the front and the back. And so what I'll do is I will swap over to full screen mode again here, which is really blown out at the moment. There we go. And then what I like to do is I have a little, just a regular piece of wood here. And then what I'll do is I'll put that wood kind of at the angle, lined up with one of the edges. And that way, oh, and you know the other thing I need to do is I need to go get a pair of rubber gloves, because this is metal and it's glossy. And nothing messes up metal glossy things than fingerprints. So, just gonna put on a pair of rubber gloves. To take my word for it, you'll see them here in a second. And if you want to be cool, always go for the black pair. The black pair looks like you're, a badass. Trust me on this. All right, that's a pro tip. All right, so we turn this around, line it up directly with that piece of wood that we just had, right to the edge, right there. When I drop this down, not only will it be in the exact same position, but we won't even check focus. Let's just take a picture and then we'll check it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's go see what this looks like. And if I zoom in, it should be perfectly focused. And look at that. Look at that, crispy clean. Crispy clean. I mean, that just looks so clean. That looks like a Photoshop drop shadow, doesn't it? Isn't that crazy? So cool. In the background here, we have a light, which we could always sort of bump up a little bit if we wanted to. I'm going through an extra level of diffusion from what I had been doing before. Let me just see if that makes much of a difference. It just brings it up a little bit. I mean, what we'll do is we'll have to clean up, you know, the horizon here, but that's not that big of a deal. We'll get into that in just a second. Okay, but first, we're not quite done here. You know, these things come with a lot of accoutrement, lots of bits and pieces. Like it comes with what looks like a some bits and pieces of hardware. So what we'll do is, normally your client won't even ask for all the little bits and pieces, you know, because it's kind of extraneous. But think about all the times that you've been to places like Amazon and how often you've checked the photos and you've made your purchases based on whether or not, because you know, it's like there's a lot of times where you go to buy something and it doesn't include a USB cable and you don't know that until it's out the door, you know, basically at your door. How annoying is that? And so I actually like to go through and get a picture of all the little bits and pieces that are included. I think that's super important. So we're actually, the funny thing is we're already done with the product. The product is done. Here it is. I don't know if you can see this back here. And we'll put this product back in his protective cocoon. And these are not cheap items. These are things that run multiple thousands of dollars. And so, you know, you really want to take care of them. You know, even when you have insurance, which is important, you don't. The more you break stuff, the less your insurance wants to pay for it, without charging you extra. So now what we might do is just a really simple arrangement. And I don't know if you can see it, but I'm kind of arranging the bits and pieces of the powered cable that comes with it. And it comes with a whole bunch of little dongles and things, so we're going to get pictures of that. And yes, you are allowed to laugh at the word dongle. If it makes you feel better. Just going to see where we're starting off here. Whenever I take these pictures, they always start off a little rough, because you know, like okay, let's see how that looks. Oh, that's completely off center. It's got that going for it. right, just using my EV to make sure I'm in focus here. Almost. We just need to get some separation with this piece back yonder. And probably turn this guy around a little bit like that. A few bits of dust off the table there. What you doing, buddy? Mr. Pinion out looking around, just kind of messing. All right, almost. Just need to tuck this little thing in like right there. I don't know if you know what kerning is, but kerning in text is when you try to position things so they all line up kind of nicely. See that? I mean, you know, that tells what's going on. You know, you get the cable. You know, you get the AC adapter. You know, you get the connection that allows you to basically use the AC adapter externally. So that's cool. And then once you're done, you always put the stuff away as soon as you're done taking a photo of it. Which I'm doing right now. And then I'm also always wondering how in the heck, oh geez. How in the heck did they get that thing in there to begin with? All right, I got it in there. All right, that's in. It has a little separate bag. So I'm gonna put that in a separate bag, just like that. Okay, so now we're down to some other components here. See what we got. Oh boy, there's a lot. There's a lot of goodies over here. Little tiny assemblies for all types of neat things. Okay. Wipes the surface off. Keeps the surface clean as possible. Okay. Now these guys. I wonder what the best way to do this is. Are they the same? What we will probably do is bring these up and then tape them back. Tape them back shut. See if we can find some tape. We got some tape here. Oh wait, that's even better. Just enjoy the beautiful sounds of the music while I look for something to open this up with. The beautiful dulcet tones. Ah, so nice. So nice. Hey, everybody. All right. Move that out of the way like that. Bring this over here like that. There's some scissors. There's the scissors we were looking for. All right. Bags are ever so slightly different, so I am going to do my best to make sure that I keep track of which item came out of which bag. So we'll put that, and we'll put this one right there. Like that. What I'll do, oh my God, little tiny pieces everywhere. All right. So what I'll do is I'll lay these out over here so they match the layout. I have another table over here. I'm just going to match the layout on up there with the layout back here. We got more things still. Okay, let me get this guy cut open now, ever so gently, with such care and grace. There's all these little screws that are used to sort of screw these things together. I am not including those because, you know, it just comes a point where it becomes a little bit of overkill. Okay. Everything is still laid out over there, as it should be. And what do we have here? Looks like a grounding attachment. There. And then what's this last thing we got? Some other screws and such. These are a little bit bigger. These look like they are more specific. So far here, I just like to, you know, lay everything out. That way when somebody sees this, there's like no guessing. You know what I mean? They know exactly what they're getting. All right, let's get this picture. I think that's all the little doodads. That was a lot of stuff that we just... All right, computer, come back to life. Yes, that is the right camera. All right, that is what we call in the business, holy shit bright. Let's try to turn down the backlight a little bit here. See if that makes a difference. It does. Look at that. We have definition in the tops of those. Not a whole lot we can do about that. That's white on white, and the white part is very important. What we just need to do here is, I think what we can do is something slightly the same but slightly different. All right, let's roll. 1, 2, 3, boom. Oh yeah, that's way better. Way better. There you go. And that's, you know, that's all that's got to be. It doesn't have to be more, doesn't have to be less. It is just that right there. All right, so now we take this, just like I said before, as you put things back in their bags, put them back into the package. Save yourself a lot of headaches and effort. Just get things back into the packages. Little tiny pieces. When you're wearing gloves, you sort of lose just a little bit of that tactile feedback. So there are times where it's like, it feels like you're about to launch an item. Don't want to do that. Okay, so like I said, I cut these little baggies as close as I could to the seam. They had a heat seam on them, and I cut them right at the heat seam. So that just means now we have got to close these up in such a way that it's like somebody cares. There we go, one done. That works. I don't know if you can see that, but that is looking good. Oh, let me switch over to our camera so you can see what's going on here. Didn't realize that we were in the wrong scene there. There you go. So those are the photos that we just got done taking. You can see we've got the very first photos that we took were extremely bright on the top. I don't know if you can see that, but there's just basically no detail there on the top at all. So we took down the backlight because I know that this is actually reflecting from the back. And then we moved them around a little bit, and they look really, really, really good. We're not getting any flaring. Everything looks, you know, it's very white, it's very bright. You know, you're trying to photograph metallic items on a metallic background. They're going to be very, very, very white. I don't remember which one had which. Who's the bigger out of the two? Are they the same? They are. Okay. Okay, yes, and there's the one with all the crazy bits and pieces. Excellent. All right, bag folded and sealed. And another one. Excellent. Another one done. Tuck that guy in there. Schmuchos. All right, so now make sure I get this guy on the open side because he's got little bits and pieces in him. I don't want them to go flying out. And somehow we managed to keep them all inside. So that's a miracle. I spent my good luck karma right there. for the entire week. All right, tape on this guy here, fold it over, pinch it, and see. Dare we do the upside down test? All right, here we go. We're gonna do the upside down test. You ready? Nothing fell out. It's all still in there. We will call that a win. All right. And we've got one more baggie here. Fantastic. Ta to the da. Just looking around here, seeing what else we've got. Making sure everything is back where it is supposed to be. That guy. Oh, you know, he was in there, wasn't he? He was. Pretty sure I just heard thunder out there. I saw the lightning way far away earlier. All right, that bag is secure. That bag is secure. Computer letting us know that the camera's going to sleep. All right, that bag is secure. That bag is secure. And that bag is secure. Fantastico. Now, how was one of those cases where it's like, how was everything tucked into this box? All right, that seems about right. And just like that, that is how you take pictures of a product. It is that simple. Now, obviously, we had a couple things going for us. Product is a rectangle, basically, some sort of square. Those are nice. Those are easy. Those are fun. I'm not gonna lie, they're fun to do. The hard ones are things like bottles and glasses, but those are fun too. They're just fun in a different way. What's up, buddy? He always gets nervous. He's not a big fan of the thunder, Mr. Pinion. Okay, so let's take one of these photos into Photoshop real quick. I'll show you what we do to get them all ready for export so the client can use them on their website. Obviously, we're shooting on white, so maybe you've deduced that we're kind of trying to go with a solid white background, which is pretty standard these days. So let's click cancel on this, and then let's go take our last photo that we took right here. Perfect. And we're just going to go ahead and say edit in Adobe Photoshop. Photoshop's going to open up here, hopefully. I just had to reinstall it earlier today because it's been having so much problems recently. I do hope this sort of mitigates those issues. All right. Go ahead. Set that guy aside. And by that guy, I mean the camera itself. We're going to put our tripod away. Clean up just a little bit. Okay, we're all set. So, let me show you a really cool trick here. We all know what clipping paths are. Clipping paths are an amazing thing. They're an awesome tool. They let you do some really cool things. But here, actually, let's do this. Turn off the camera. But you don't always have to use clipping paths. Clipping paths are a little bit of a mess. Well, they're not a mess, but you know, they can be a pain, man. They can be a pain. So here we go. We have our image right there. What I like to do is I just create a new adjustment layer, that layer being a curves. And then I'm going to click this one here, which is going to sample the white point. Now, it doesn't necessarily do anything, but I mean, if I click here, it may or may not do much. If I click here, it's going to do a whole lot. If I click on this black part here, the whole image is going to basically be going white. But what exactly are we doing? Well, what we're going to do is if you hold on your Alt key, everything that is black, or I should say everything that is white is white. Everything that is black is past that threshold. So what we're trying to do is get about as much white in here as we can without impacting the product. Now we happen to know that this little bit of black here and this blue fringe and up here, that's not a big deal because the product ends there. But this down here, see how this whole swatch of canvas is pure white? That is true white. So if we go here and we start clicking around, you'll see right here, F, that's all white. So that's done. Like we actually don't have to mess with that. And that's nice because now what we can do is if you wanted to use a clipping path, or if you wanted to keep it even more simple, you could probably get away with your polygonal or polygonal, however you want to call it. And don't judge me for this. I can't tell you, if you've ever bought like a Netgear router, there's a chance, especially if it was a while ago, not recently, but a while ago, I may have done some of the work on that. And you know what? You want to know something? I use the polygonal tool, the polygonal tool, all of the time to cut out curved surfaces. Okay? So judge me if you want to. I don't care. I just don't care. All right, we must not be we must not be using oh my God, what is happening here? There you go. I mean, literally, not even kidding, in like half the time it would take you to do this. Yeah, I'm sorry, not even half. Quarter, a sixth, an eighth of the time that it would take you to do this if you were using, you know, your standard tool here, which is, by the way, is the pen tool. What is going on with this thing? Oh, way better. Or is it? Can't tell. It's the same. But anyway, like if you're going to use this tool, I have no idea what is happening with the rendering here, people. All right, hold on. I'm gonna save this, and then we're gonna close, and we're gonna open it again because this reinstall that I just did, it's got me sus. It got me sus, people. There we go. Look who's rendering all of a sudden. So take the fact that we restarted sort of out of the equation. But by this point with the polygon lasso tool, we were already done. With what I would like to at least tell you is completely exceptional results. I've never had a client say, hey, that curve looks... No, because nobody gets to look at the photos this big. Even when these things are printed on the website, on an Amazon shopping page or whatever. But in case you always wondered how do they make clipping paths, if you've never done it yourself, this is how it's done. It's done with the pen tool and a severe hatred for one's self. So then what you do is you've got paths here. You just basically command or option click it to get the marching ants, to get the selection. Then you copy and you paste. And if you want it to be pure white in every single direction, you just fill it in like that. And that is a pure white photo. However, look what we lose. We lose that beautiful shadow. You can actually see the reflection underneath it. That's not what we're going for. That's not why we're here. We like that stuff, so we're not going to use that tool. All right, let's just make sure that there's nothing small that doesn't need a couple little fix. Little tiny fixes. I should probably find, oh, here we go. All right. Just looking for some. And there's some other little bits, like these edges are a little tarnished. You know, the one thing we could do I still have the path? I do. Here's where like the path does come in handy. You can basically select your item, and then you can grab just, you know, something even quick and dirty like the regular old clone stamp, sample this area, and then just go down, up and around. Just kind of clean up the machine edge a little bit. Whenever you work with sort of machined metal like this, wherever the die comes down and sort of cuts or grinds or whatever, you're going to see that happen. Thankfully, it's not so bad over here. This is why we wear gloves, so we don't get our fingerprints like whoever put this in the box got their little grubby fingerprints on it. Oops, cancel. And this thing is going to be basically that size on a web page, so I'm not gonna panic at the disco tonight. You know what I mean? I'm just going to kind of tuck into these corners, get rid of a couple of those streaks right there, Come in like that a little bit, down like that. That just kind of helps blend it. Looks great. And the grime gives it a little bit of an edge definition right there. You know what I mean? So it's a bonus. Did that on purpose. Genius. Absolute genius. The last thing you could do if you were a true stickler is, you know, we know this is white. We could hit that, but I think that looks better. We are oh, you know what? Actually, I don't even know if we really were. Now that we're mentioning it, we actually weren't. Yeah, see, that is. Isn't that funny? Interesting. Well, I kind of think the default here looks really, really nice. And the back side, woo! Good Lord, looking so good. I mean, this is one of the things I love about photography is getting in there and having the ability to, you know, kind of create something out of nothing. Or I should say, it's not that there was nothing here, but it is fun to sort of take somebody's product and just turn it into something interesting. I just Oops, that's not it. Is that what I meant to do? Is that what I'm trying to do here? What do you need there? Oh my God. Sophia, what do you need? You need to go outside? All right, guys, my dog needs to go out. That is my sign that we are all done here. How long have we been doing this? Almost exactly an hour. That's like the perfect time. So, if you like this, let me know if you want to see more specifics about how we set up the lights. We didn't really do any of that. I didn't explain the lights at all this time around. I usually do, but I think this time here we were just sort of playing around with the EOS R5, kind of seeing what it could do. Pardon me. But yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing evening. Take care of yourselves, and if you do want to see more specific stuff, just mention it in the comments and we'll get to it. If you have any critiques, if you didn't like the video, you can mention that too. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm all good with it. So take care, everybody, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.